Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us and tuning back into the Social Primate Podcast. Today, our guest is Noni Nueva, a really cool, well-rounded guy that I met a few months back. He's an online fitness coach. He's also an instructor at CrossFit. I basically had the chance to sit down with him and talk about a few topics, most pertaining to just, rules or guidelines that we can all kind of abide to, in a sense, to get us where we want to be in our goals, whether they're career-wise, whether they're financial, fucking personal relationships, whatever it is. I feel, or at least we felt like these topics that we touched on can at least help set starting point to something that you want to accomplish. Other than that, I was also joined by my friend Leslie. She was happened to show up randomly, which was pretty awesome, and I thank her for that. So if you hear somebody giggling there, that's probably going to be her. But without further ado, this is check out the episode, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. And music, thank you, Moody Boom Bop. Thank you for letting us use your music, though. His latest single, and it's available on SoundCloud. So check it out. Here's a snip, and check out the full song at the end of the episode. Peace.
Victor, you can call me Moody. And if I'm gonna interrupt, I'm gonna do it rudely. But if I'm gonna fuck a gut, I'm gonna do it smoothly. And by the time this shit is done, you're gonna wish you knew me like where you from, where you live, yo? I'm having so much fun, it's like a kid's show. 7 days of the week, it's like a vacation. I take it step by step, the constant elevation. Total annihilation is what I'm contemplating. And when it comes to the funk, you know I never fake it. Oh boy, I'm glad you made it to the demonstration. Now you can cheer or boo, just don't keep me waiting. If I could take it all back, I wouldn't change a thing. Still the kid walking in after the bell rings, quiet into himself. Most of the time, glasses up, I'd like to make a toast in my prime. Some people saying that I'm whack, they don't know me though. And others say they got my back, they don't know me though.
Alright, cool. So, welcome back to the Social Primate Podcast and our special guest that came on down today. We have Noni Nueva, right?
Yes.
Yes, also known as Bosch.
Yeah.
We get to sneak both of those in there.
Yeah.
So what's up, man? How you been?
I'm good. How are you? I'm really excited to be here. Kind of nervous a little bit, but
it's cool.
I'm glad you reached out.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming out again. Like I mentioned, like you say, I know it gets a little nerve-wracking sometimes, especially if you're not really used to it.
Yeah.
But I think as long as we keep it cool, it'll be a decent conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
And cool. And again, thank you for being honest about that, because I feel a little nervous right now too.
I don't.
Yeah, just ignore her.
Okay.
But yeah, man, what's up? For people who don't know who you are or what you do, you're a coach, right? You're an instructor, physical instructor?
I'm a CrossFit coach. I've been an instructor now for almost 3 years. And recently I've kind of delved into online coaching as well. I'm working with some clients. I'm giving them their workout programs and also giving them nutrition advice and nutrition coaching as well. I kind of started that off because a lot of people where I work at currently would be asking me for advice, tips, just certain things, any little thing that they can do outside of the gym, outside of working out itself, in order for them to reach their goals. So I would give them little programs or little workouts that they would do on the side. And then it kind of grew into something bigger where, okay, now what's next? Like, teach me how to eat properly or teach me how to eat well. So I just kind of started doing that earlier this year, too.
Oh, that's cool, man. I mean, that's helpful because I've been one of those people who just like, what do I do? You're looking online, looking for like all these different articles, different techniques of things you can get fit, strength and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps sometimes to just go to someone specifically who already works in that field.
Definitely.
And, get their input instead of some random websites.
There's a lot of content out there, like YouTube or just Googling things. The problem with that is a lot of workout programs or nutrition programs or even like meal plans and stuff, which I don't personally do. It kind of isn't a one size fits all kind of deal. Even coaches like myself, I remember last year I was kind of going through my own thing where I was getting a little bit more out of shape and I wasn't putting as much time into my own fitness just because I was working all the time. And I hired my own coach and was able to like get back into the swing of things. So people don't realize that, there's a lot of free stuff, a lot of free content, a lot of good content out there. It's just one, you have to be able to utilize all. Wow, it's getting hot in here. Is it me or is I'm like sweating so much? Sorry. But what was I talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah. So like, you don't necessarily need to go out there and like hire a coach or anything like that, but you have to find a way in order for whatever you're gonna do, whether that's nutrition or exercise, fitness, in order for it to work for you. I always tell people like, you don't have to. I'm a CrossFit coach, so that's kind of like my field. But I always tell people, look, if this is something that isn't for you, like go out there and find something, like do Zumba or do bodybuilding or just go out there and walk with your kids. Anything, any form of exercise, half an hour a day is just way better than nothing,
Right. Yeah, I mean, in that sense, you go out and try different things as well, and you kind of get to pick what fruit you want, if you say, put it that way, from the trees of exercise. Yeah,
exactly. And I've been there, it wasn't till I remember I was 29 and I just had gotten out of a relationship and I was just drinking all the time, drinking every day. And I had to go to the doctor a couple of times because I was just having like, health issues. And I realized like, dude, I had to do something or else it would have gone like super serious. So sometimes it takes, something like that for people to kind of like change how they eat, how they live, how they lead their lives.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate to say, sometimes you have to get into those positions in your life where you're in the ruts for you to kind of take a look at everything around you and say, this is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And then from there you kind of build on it. And like you said, you set goals for yourself in a way, like health goals, mind goals. It's interesting. It's interesting how we can cope with that and build from that.
Definitely.
Just want to going back to your Instagram page. One of the things that we wanted to talk about, at least that I wanted to bring up a little bit, was some of the stuff that you've posted on there. So I'm referring to those like Noni's tips that you put on Instagram and stuff, which I found interesting because I felt like there was a lot of insight into what you were trying to put. And again, a lot of people just see the superficial part of it and will not really trying to apply it to their everyday thing.
Right.
It is getting hard in here, huh?
Maybe it's me. I'm just
I think the AC is right here.
I'm like a naturally like
there's a button around here.
Like sweaty dude. So.
No. We're gonna cut this out.
I mean, we can. I mean.
Who's manager? I don't want this. I'm not interview.
I don't want this.
Fuck, it is.
I guess we could try opening the door. I don't think there's anybody.
Like noise or something.
Yeah, I think I should be fine. There's a breeze, right? Are you wearing a big ass jacket?
I brought two just in case it was.
Oh my god, you did.
It's always the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like when I feel like it's gonna be hot, like I won't wear anything.
Yeah, and then
it gets super
or
cold.
Windy.
Or like I'll wear like Leslie today. She has like 20 jackets on, and it's like super hot outside.
And it's a thick ass sweater.
No, this one's thin.
No, but this one's thick.
Yeah, but I wasn't wearing that.
Fine. No, I think it's. Oh, you ready? No, it should be
Close
fine.
it.
Gotta breathe.
Are you guys really hot though? I mean, don't.
No,
you're-
it's not in here.
yeah, it's hot. A little
Okay.
breeze that came in, it was
Yeah.
pretty refreshing. All right, it's cool. We'll open it in a bit as soon as that guy starts. So he was mumbling or something. He's like, whoa. What the fuck? Yeah. So I'll just. What was I saying? Oh yeah, your Instagram post.
Yeah.
So yeah, I personally found those posts pretty insightful. Seeing them just to kind of, at least sometimes personally, I'm sure there's many other people who kind of go through that. But sometimes not intentionally searching for anything, but something just comes up on your feed or throughout the day, you're online, or something happens to you that kind of sets things, how do I say it? Puts things in perspective, I want to say, I guess, or it kind of makes things clearer for that moment. You're like, oh shit, maybe I should act on this or something, At least I get that from my experience. So again, with one of the posts, I think those type of conversations, or at least those topics, should be brought up a lot more often. I would say, like, if for some reason someone's like, oh, what are you talking about in this podcast? And we're just talking about, tips or health stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might misunderstand that if, because they expect you to be talking about real world issues.
Right.
But I think before we get into that, to figure out how we can fix that, I feel like a lot of it has to come from within ourselves first. We got to better ourselves first to be able to better the people or the environment around us.
Yeah.
And then collectively chase after our goal. So I think everything starts from within first. I think that's why I thought it was really important to kind of touch base on those kind of topics today.
Yeah, of course.
I made a little list. I'm going to look at this on my iPhone.
Yeah.
But I know
Go for it.
One of the ones that was enjoy the victories. I found that pretty interesting because a lot of the times we beat ourselves up over where we're not where we want to be.
Exactly.
And we could be better. We're always comparing ourselves or seeing ourselves in a reflection of others. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we give ourselves enough credit at times, for the little things like, I don't know, an example, like I didn't crash today. Like, fucking driving on the freeway, you didn't crash, you're still alive.
Yeah.
Like, it's little, but hey, you made it.
I definitely agree. I think one of the reasons I put that up was that we're always busy, especially nowadays, right? We're constantly busy with work, our career. We're always looking ahead in life, and if we're not able to, like you said, like enjoy the small victories now, even if it's just like, hey, I made a good choice today, whatever choice that is. Those things add up over time. It's not like people that are really successful in their field just one day like woke up and were like, millionaires, or I guess in my case, or like in the industry I'm in, like, you don't wake up one day and like are absolutely shredded, like 10% body fat or whatever like that. It's like, it takes a long time, it takes a long time to get fit, or it takes a long time to work on your business or whatever goals that you have. And if you don't take time to kind of, sit back and be proud of the things that you've accomplished, no matter how small, then you'll always be trying to seek out the next thing. Like, what's the next goal? What's the next thing I have to do? I was able to get something, now what's next? If you're always having that mentality, then you'll never be able to appreciate the things that, the good things that you're doing right now, constantly. So,
I think, you sometimes people feel selfish, or at least you'll feel selfish that you're congratulating yourself. You feel like it's wrong, or like it's just you're feeding your ego.
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference between at least being aware of it. You're aware that you're not just feeding your ego in a bad way. But I don't forget where I was going with this. But point being is that it's not selfish to congratulate yourself. Like, you should take the opportunity to really just pat yourself in the back every now and then, and know that you're not doing it for those selfish reasons.
Exactly. I feel like, there's like a fine line between like cockiness and confidence. Yeah. And you have to be confident in anything that you do. I think that if you don't take time for self-care, and I know personally for me over the past year or so, it's been kind of difficult because I'm trying to juggle like my own fitness and work and life and all that. And if you don't take time to kind of just look back on the things that you've accomplished, then you'll never be satisfied. You'll never be you'll never be happy, you know, and
or
that's
you
what it's all
You
about.
won't know your worth, and I think it's important. I think it's really important that you take care of yourself like that and say, "Hey, you're doing good."
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
hug yourself. That's how you start. You start loving yourself first. So yeah, I mean, I thought that was really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to make this sound like you're reading off a list.
No, that's
You can look at this too if you want.
Yeah.
That way you have an idea, like where I'm going, Leslie. You could too.
Okay.
Remember, you can just chip in whenever you want.
Discipline over motivation. I
Yeah.
feel like when people start something, they're super motivated. Like, oh, I'm going to start a band, or I'm going to change my career. Now, what do I have to do in order for me to get this done, to be successful in my field, whatever it is that I have to do? But over time, that motivation wanes. You know, it's not like every single day you're going to come up and be super amped about, you know, work or whatever it is that you're doing. But if you are disciplined in something, you'll always do it. You know, like for myself, when I first started doing CrossFit 5 years ago, I was so like scared of doing it. But then once I realized that, hey, I can, you know, I kind of hang with people who are working out here, then like I was really motivated into doing that and seeing my goals, like my fitness goals, my physical goals. Over time, I was super motivated. But now doing this for like the past 5 years, there's some days when I'm waking up and I'm just like sore as fuck. Like, can I cut?
Yeah,
No,
can
can I
cuss,
cuss?
you
Okay.
can cuss.
We didn't even talk about that earlier, so I do apologize.
you can
But
say
you can
whatever you
bleep
want.
that out if like, you know, if you need to. And so kind of like your motivation starts lacking. Even starting a new job, right? Like the first 2 weeks is like...
Yeah, you're putting your full work, your full back into it.
Exactly. You're getting like dressed 2 hours before. You're just like making sure everything is right. But then after a while, you're just like, oh,
Yeah, you
work
start
is
showing up
work.
5 minutes late, 10 minutes late.
The reason I put that
You get
up is...
fired.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Not that it's happened to me.
And now you just like... A cool tip, you just throw it in the dryer for like 5 minutes. Like whatever you have to do, right? Like whatever you're wearing. Just throw it in there for 5 minutes and it's all like ironed out or whatever. The wrinkles are gone. But
Yeah, that's the secret.
yeah.
The secret to waking up late
Yeah.
and still getting to work just on time.
But going back on the discipline thing, it's like motivation is what helps you get started. Discipline is what keeps you going no matter what.
Yeah.
So if you promise yourself like, hey, no matter what happens, no matter how busy life gets, I'm going to work out 3 times a week this week and every single week for the rest of my life till I die. You know, like then that's what discipline is about.
Right, and then you'll think that there's an assumption that it takes that discipline is something you're going to gain. It's kind of like similar, like you mentioned earlier about you don't wake up and just lose 10% of body fat. You know,
No, you don't.
Like you give yourself that discipline, and it takes a lot of will. Like it's a lot of personal will for you to set yourself in that goal and say, you know what, I'm going to do this even after I don't enjoy it as much as I do, or at least the motivation's gone.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, if we're not doing that, dude, like, I don't know, man, what are we really doing? So at some point we have to find something that we're gonna, whatever it is, you know, but something that's gonna discipline us in one way or another.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's how we'll learn, or at least give value to the hard work. You know,
Definitely. Yeah.
And then, like, motivation, it's going to come and go. Good one day, a few years later, you're bad. And then something else starts motivating you to change or get out of your comfort zone again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's
I find it really interesting, too. Like, you kind of have to think about it as work, you know, like everyone has a job to do. And it's, you know, most people go to work day in, day out, like Monday through Friday or whatever your schedule is. And some days you don't feel like going, but, you know, unless you're super duper sick or an emergency comes up, you're going to work.
Yeah.
Why? Well, you know, you're going to work because it's your career. You have to pay the bills. You have to, you know, you have to go to work.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with that post that I put up is that, you know, you have to be able to be dedicated, because why even put in half effort? And like with fitness, it's definitely hard, it definitely is, you know, to get motivated and to go out there and, you know, go to the gym and work out 3 times a week and eat right. But it's not like impossible. It's not like you have to work out like 7 hours a day, 7 days a week. Imagine if fitness was like that, then like
Nobody would be doing it.
no one would do it, right? They always say like if it was easy, everyone would do it, but it definitely isn't impossible. Like for myself, I used to be 26% body fat. And when I started working out, you know, I got all the way down to like 9% body fat.
Damn.
And then now I kind of, you know, I'm a little bit more relaxed on that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like in the teens or whatever. I do need to get back on it. Thanks, Lalo, for coming out and like inviting me. Now I got to get my shit done. But
fucking flaps are getting sweaty.
Exactly. It's not like it's not impossible. It's not easy, but you can do it the right way and still be able to live your life. And that's what I definitely teach my clients when I give them a workout program or my nutrition program. It's like they get in, they're like, is it this is it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, this is it. Like if I tell you to like just walk from here to the corner and back, and if that's your workout for the day, then like you've accomplished something, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, without that, you know, discipline, you're gonna make excuses for anything. Like I find myself making excuses when I tell myself I gotta go run. Like I'll do it tomorrow. I'll go 2 hours from now.
Yeah.
You know, little things like that creep into your head and like try to.
You want to go on a run after this, or no?
For sure, I'm gonna go hiking.
Oh, that's cool. There you go. There you go.
So you know, I'm not. It's not my usual exercise, but it's still something that's gonna keep me active. You know.
Yeah.
Like at least that's the way I see it. I try to replace it. If I'm not gonna do something, I try to replace it in some other way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do like fucking high intensity stuff, but it's enough to keep me you
in shape. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, the point being is that, you know, you start making excuses or for anything you do, you know, are you good enough? Or, you know, these little things are going to creep into your head and try to tell you otherwise. But once you have that discipline built, you're going to say, fuck whatever that's going on in my head. I'm just going to keep going at it. Like chipping away at your Greek statue that you're making, you know?
Yeah.
And you'll get there eventually. But again, it's just having that discipline because everything else is going to come through regardless. So whatever it is, you got to stay on that path, I would say. Yeah. So, I mean, I thought that was powerful. I was like, whoa. Yeah. And yeah, it's those little things that you get into your head and you're like, you know, I can be where I want to be.
Yeah.
You know, it just takes that extra work and serious work.
And then also to kind of add to that, it's not like, you know, we always get in a rut, right? Like we'll stop eating right for a little bit, or we'll stop going to the gym for some time.
Yeah.
But it just takes one day. Like, oh, I'm gonna go back, and then you kind of get the ball rolling again.
Yeah.
You just can't let it be like, oh crap, I haven't worked out in a year, or like, you know, I've been eating like crappy for the past like, you know, for you know however long. It just takes like one day to just kind of like, okay, I kind of messed up for a month or a couple of weeks. I went on vacation or whatever, but now it's time for me to get things right. And it's just as easy as that. Just go right into it. You know, just do it. Just do it. Just continue to do what you've been doing, even though you like fall off for, you know, a couple weeks or a couple days.
Right. Yeah. I think that makes sense. Like also, like I think I touched base on this on one of the last episodes in regards to, you know, you don't have to be exercising or designing, creating, or building every single day of your life.
Yeah.
Because you also need that space in between to kind of just be yourself, you know, like be whatever you want to do, you know, a couch potato, whatever it is, you know, you still give yourself that time because you don't also want to exhaust yourself, you know, mentally, physically, psychologically.
Exactly.
And it's good to take that time as well, as long as you get back on that, you know, wagon and being the best version of yourself, which comes back to the earlier topic we were talking about, you know, you kind of have to change yourself first in order for you to affect your environments and your surroundings. And that starts with fixing either your relationships, your friendships, you know, with your family and stuff.
Yeah.
It all starts from that immediate space that you have around you in order for you to be a better self, be a better person, I would say, to yourself
Exactly.
and to those around you.
Yeah.
The ones who really matter at that point.
I always feel like, as corny as that sounds, like at the end of your life, if you look back and, didn't do the things that you wanted to do or didn't accomplish the things that you wanted to accomplish, how like sad that would be, as bad as it sounds. And I never want that for myself, or like just the people that I care about. I want like myself to be as I put it, like the best version of myself, because that's all you can do as a person, right? Like I feel that if you don't go out there and really like take a chance on what you want to do in life and what you want to become, then what's the point of all of this? I know it's kind of like self-explanatory or whatever, but it's something simple, but at the same time, I feel like it can resonate with some people out there.
Yeah. Like I brought up an example earlier. I haven't brought it up, but there's this book that I've been reading. It's called The 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. And one of the biggest messages that I've gotten from the book so far is, it's really simple, but it's basically clean up your room.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't mean your room where you're sleeping and stuff, but the room in your head and stuff like that. Start off with cleaning that first. Even if it is physically your room, you start setting some order to the chaos around you in a way.
Yeah.
So you start by your room, putting everything together, and it gives you a better path. Like, okay, what's next? And then even that starts building the momentum for you to start trying to accomplish different things and, again, become a better version of yourself just by doing something so small like that.
Yeah.
One of the examples he brought up was like, what is one thing that you do every day of your life, and is come home. You're coming home, you're going to come home to somebody. So start with fixing that. Start how you start coming home, how your mood affects everybody, or how you show up to your kids, your wife, your husband, whatever. Like, that's important because that's what you're doing every day. And if that's not good, then everything outside of your life is also going to stay chaotic in a sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought that was like mind blowing, because again, it's like these little messages that are so straightforward, but there's not a lot of thought put into them behind them. When you really start thinking, like, you can start changing by, I think that kind of leads on to one of the next ones that I wanted to talk about was like, take ownership of your stuff.
Yeah.
The moment you start taking ownership of your past failures or your experiences, you kind of start putting things in perspective and saying, okay, how can I fix that for the future self, or for the present moment, and accept it for who it is, kind of know that you carry that burden, but at the same time, you're taking ownership for it and trying to better yourself, knowing what it is that you've done before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if you have that mentality of taking ownership, like no matter what happens in life, we all have our circumstances and situations where maybe we don't have like the means to, or to do a certain thing, or we don't have, like, our background isn't the best or whatever, or we're coming up like with, if all these hardships that we go through. But if you take full ownership of, like, no matter what happens in life, no matter what's happening now, what's happening in the future, if I take ownership of that, if I like, okay, it's all on me, then like I feel like anything is possible. Like, okay, this is my own will, this is my own goal, or my own, whatever that you want to do, like, you can make it happen. No one else is responsible for that except yourself.
Right.
So
yeah, I think one of the things that will kind of hold people back is just like the fear of change, or like that resistance you feel when you want to do something new, or you want to join something, or like one example of these from my personal experience was like when I went skydiving. I went skydiving and I was scared shitless, man. Like, wow. I mean, I'm sure anybody thinking of jumping off a plane is fucking scared. But I went through with it. I was scared, and once you're like at the edge of that plane, like fucking 15,000 feet, you're like, oh shit, everything looks like ants, and then like you have no choice but to jump. Like, You know, I mean, you can.
How was it, by the way?
Dude,
just,
it was
amazing?
blissful, man.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I was crying on the way down.
Really?
Like,
Nice.
so beautiful. Man, it was awesome. Like, again, it was just that state of, you know, once I accepted, like, okay, if I die right now, I die, you know. But I came to that acceptance. Like, I stopped resisting that fear. Like, oh, it's gonna happen anyway. So I kind of like say, you know what? I'll leave my fear behind, and I just do it.
Yeah.
And then once you're going down, like, you see it's nothing. It's just another experience.
Yeah.
And then you start crying.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's
you know, you
great.
get to the bottom, and then you're just glad for, like, I guess the beautiful part, without getting too cheesy here, is just like seeing like the horizon, you know, like just how calm everything looks from above. Like,
Yeah.
it looks peaceful, like there's nothing going on. And once you come back down here, you start seeing like you have problems.
Yeah.
There's like all this stuff going on. It's just chaos.
Right.
And just to see it for a moment from above, it's just like you can really see how beautiful things are
Yeah.
outside the bullshit, you know?
I love that.
Which, yeah, I know, and it's beautiful. So, again, like, doing it, just going through with it and just taking action. There's this other book, it's called The Art of War by some guy called Stephen Pressfield.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about resistance and how if you ever feel resistance or fear towards something that you want to pursue, it most likely means that you should pursue it. But it's just getting over that fear, that phase of fear.
Exactly. I was actually talking with Leslie yesterday about change and how we're so we fear that so much because we don't know what's on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And after you kind of just say, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna change something in my life, you always go back and you always think, like, why didn't I do that before? I remember when I wanted to change my career. I was in a whole nother field, and you know how they always say, like, you should have like a, you know, like a job, like, before you quit anything.
Yeah.
Like, you should already have, like, your next
Something
job
set up,
lined
yeah.
up. Exactly. So I was in another field, and I hated what I did. Like, I did not like it at all. And I was in that industry for about like a year or so, and I quit. And I remember everyone around me was like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you went to school for this, like, you just started. But I felt like it wasn't for me. Like, I didn't want to be doing that for the next 20 years. And I was like, I needed a change. And then this thing came up. I started working out in the gym, and then I started interning at the gym that I'm at right now, and then ultimately started working there. So I feel like I should have just already had done that, like, way before, because at the end everything works out. It really does. That's what my belief is. So
Yeah. There's a cool quote. I'm bad with names, but it goes something like,
just make it up, man.
just make it up.
Michael James
Winterfield.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
But it goes, at some point you got to start asking why things happen to you, and instead of that, ask how you can change it or how you can make it work to your advantage. Stop making yourself a victim and start taking responsibility for it and just, doing it. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This whole episode's about whoas and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
Yeah.
again, these like little things that we just let things go over our head, and we get stuck in those ruts sometimes,
Yeah.
And then when you cross, something on Instagram, it's like, oh, fuck, that's going to change my life.
Yeah. No,
Maybe
it's
not
weird.
really, but, little
I'll
things
see
like that.
something like that, and, like, it's such a little, and I know you have it up there, like, even with the do it one, it's so freaking simple. And I don't know I'm sorry if I'm, like, just going off on a tangent here, but, like, have you guys seen that Shia LaBeouf
the video? Yeah.
Video, and he's literally, like, saying just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's coming off with so much, like, passion and intensity that I want to, like, just fucking, like, go out there and run, or which I hate running.
do something,
like, do something, right? Like, do something in your life that'll make it worthwhile, that'll make you happy, that'll excite you, that'll just make you just want to go out there and do it,
Yeah.
So
it makes sense. Like this whole concept of the podcast is kind of like the same. You know, like I get nervous every time I'm gonna come on here and talk with somebody. You know, like I want to make up an excuse, like maybe I'll just reschedule for next week. But
I didn't. Weren't we supposed to meet last week?
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah, but that wasn't the reason. No.
Yeah.
But you know, you just make up excuses, or you let those thoughts come in, and you're just trying to get out of it because you're feeling uncomfortable, and that's what you want to do as a human. You know, you want to get out of those uncomfortable places, but sometimes you have to go through that darkness to get out to the light.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So I mean, it's powerful, and like again with the podcast, I get nervous and stuff, but you kind of just have to do it, and then you can keep that consistency going in whatever you do, whatever your field is.
For sure.
And if you don't like it, again, just like I've come to the point in my life, I've been working since I was like fucking 13 or something with some intern programs when I was a kid. So I've from 13 till 28, it's like 15 years of just working for somebody, you know, and like at least maybe my mindset would change in next year or something. But for now, I feel like I have to start taking matters into my own hands because that's what I want to do, you know.
Yeah.
So and it's scary and stuff, but I don't like being in a place too long that I don't feel comfortable in. You know, the moment I feel like I'm always looking to what the next thing is, even if I'm not entirely sure what it is either.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of embracing it and have confidence in my own skills to know that I will get wherever I want to.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your next year?
I can definitely
Did I do a
relate.
job?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool, man. I don't know. Did I interrupt you?
No.
Oh.
You were great. It was just, we were just kind of piggybacking off of each other, and I definitely agree 100% with everything that you said. But if you guys haven't seen that Shia LaBeouf video, it's literally like a minute long. You guys need to just YouTube it. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, but at the same time, like
what they've done with it too, like the parodies. We had the green screen.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe that was his intention, but yeah, it was good. I saw it too, and I was like, damn.
He even said like, I like kind of rewatched it today, and he said, "Don't let your dreams be dreams." And then I was like, whoa, like, it sounds like weird, but it's like, yeah, don't let your dreams be dreams. Make your dreams a reality, whatever it is. And kind of like going off of what you said, like I'm trying to do my own thing right now too, where I've gone through, well, I didn't work since I was 13.
Yeah.
Is that even legal? No, I started working when I think I was 17 or something. But I've gone through like different things in my life where I thought I was going to be this or I was going to do that. But like life changes, like life happens, and you kind of have different goals, and like you see different things, and like, oh, I want to do this next, or I want to do that. And it's scary. It really is. Yeah. Like what I'm doing right now, it's like, I'm like, I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if in a year from now, I'm going to be where I'm at. Maybe I'll change. I don't know. But you won't know unless you try it, unless you actually go for it.
And I think what will count too is just being aware that just if you're going to change, just be aware that you are capable of still changing. So that way your kind of mind shifts with you, your mindset shifts with you, I meant to say. I think, again, if people will take little things like this into consideration, they can change their lives, man. Like, you can change your lives, or you at least can change your perspective on things, and, be more sympathetic to people or sympathetic to their struggles and stuff. Because I think there's a little disconnect going on nowadays with that. Yeah. Not with everybody, but
everyone's on their own world, it seems like sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's okay, because in a sense, but at the same time, just being aware of how you're making those people feel with your actions. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I think that was a pretty good conversation. We're at that mark now.
Oh, I know.
So, man, thanks for coming out, Noni, Bosch, Leslie the manager.
I manage him, Lalo.
Oh.
Leslie's manager, no.
Oh, yeah. You manage Noni.
I manage him.
his
Who's your
workouts.
manager, Leslie? Am I your
Who's your
manager?
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming out. I think it was a cool conversation. I hope others do too. And if people want to get in contact with you about trying to get fit or whatever, whatever they want, I guess they want to go to you for advice.
Yeah,
Dr.
with
Phil
anything.
style?
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Phil style.
I get DMs a lot too, just like random people, and they'll ask me things, and I feel like I want to be able to help them. So it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I love what I do. So, yeah. What was your question?
I guess where can people find it?
Oh, okay.
More
Yeah.
information on what you do, if you want them to. Find
Yeah,
it.
definitely. You can go to my Instagram page, at Train with Noni. It's pretty much it. You can email me too if you guys need to or whatever. So,
Cool.
yeah, I definitely had a great time. Thank you for having me.
No worries, man.
It's been a pleasure.
Same, likewise. Leslie, thanks for just showing up.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah, more support. Like, I feel more comfortable now.
Yeah.
I feel like I can have my mom in here
Yeah.
I'm not your
while
mom.
she's watching. Yeah, but thanks again, guys. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
The real name's Victor, you can call me Moody. And if I'm gonna interrupt, I'm gonna do it rudely. But if I'm gonna fuck a gut, I'm gonna do it smoothly. And by the time this shit is done, you're gonna wish you knew me like where you from, where you live, yo? I'm having so much fun, it's like a kid's show. 7 days of the week, it's like a vacation. I take it step by step, the constant elevation. Total annihilation is what I'm contemplating. And when it comes to the funk, you know I never fake it. Oh boy, I'm glad you made it to the demonstration. Now you can cheer or boo, just don't keep me waiting. If I could take it all back, I wouldn't change a thing. Still the kid walking in after the bell rings, quiet into himself. Most of the time, glasses up, I'd like to make a toast in my prime. Some people saying that I'm whack, they don't know me though. And others say they got my back, they don't know me though. You know it's all a simple fact, they don't know me though. They don't know me though, they don't know me though. Yes, I'm unknown and yes, I'm from this galaxy. What this music's done for me, I call it alchemy. Magically putting words together while tragically serving up sucker MCs, it's a catastrophe. Yes, I'm unknown and yes, I'm from this galaxy. What this music's done for me, I call it alchemy. Magically putting words together while tragically serving up sucker MCs, it's a catastrophe. Some people saying that I'm whack, they don't know me though. And others say they got my back, they don't know me though. You know it's all a simple fact, they don't know me though. They don't know me though. They don't know me though.